So my advice, prioritize. What's the number one problem? What hurts the most? And then execute on that. And then validate that with a customer. Get that customer to say, aha, where have you been? The rest you can work on later.
Our relationship with technology is evolving rapidly. As AI is changing businesses and reshape our world, what does the future hold? Hi, and welcome to another episode of AI Business Transformation. I'm Michael Coppola. Welcome, and today I'm really excited to be here with Bettina Briz, angel investors, ex-GoPro, and the board member. Hi, Bettina.
Hello, Michael.
Hi.
I'm sending my hellos from Mexico City. I'm here right now.
Yeah, really excited to dive into your journey from where it takes you as an investor and also supporting founders. I really wanted to dive into how did you came up to this position at the moment?
Yeah, I can share a little bit of my background. I mean, I'm one of the 40 years in tech. That's how old I am. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I started out in semiconductors. I'm a semiconductor veteran. Did a bunch of startups. My last full-time gig I'll share was I led all of GoPro's strategic partnerships for 12 years, and it was fantastic. It was before the IPO. It was because I love being surrounded by very smart, young, innovative entrepreneurs. Everyone was 24 years old. I was always a senior citizen. And then I left GoPro probably now almost 2 years, and I retired for 2 days. I couldn't do it. So now I'm very active, right? 40 years in tech, but I feel young and energetic, and I really love my new chapter right now, Michael, where I'm investing in advising many more early stage founders to help them really, you know, to help them with their dream, their idea. How did we get them going? So that's what I love to do. I'm meeting many, and it's a great chapter. So that's me.
That's incredible. You want to dive into a bit more also on your last experience at GoPro. Would be good to understand as well what was your role there.
Yeah, I think it helps. A lot of I think what's helpful, because I've seen a lot of startups trying to grow, even big enterprise companies struggling because new competition comes in, right? Or the market, like now with tariffs, stock market's down. Like, how do you navigate like major catastrophic events? And at GoPro, I led their technology alliances. GoPro makes the camera and the software, right? Fantastic action camera. They created a category. They could have engineered everything, but they did not. My job and privilege was to find best in breed partners. So my network is very, very wide, very deep. I'm an engineer, so I was able to find best in breed. And it's why I think I use a lot of my battle wounds. I call it my battle scars from 40 years in tech. And like at GoPro, with a lot of the founders I'm meeting now, a lot of the founders have good idea, but how do they scale? How do they find, a lot of founders I'm meeting, they have the idea. How do I get to prototype? How do I get to MVP? I'm not the CTO type, so I help introduce them. I help them, one of the key things is, and I preach this, don't develop your product until it's 100%. Like, get in front of customers, validate your idea. as soon as possible. The goal is to learn faster, right? So maybe show a broken, unsexy prototype. Get that out in front of, identify maybe that many target beta customers, show them. Maybe 5 will say, yeah, okay, get it to me and I'll pay you. And maybe that many will say, I can live with, not that big a deal. The sooner you learn that, the better. That's, you know, that's priceless, I think, for early stage founders, right?
Yeah, being able to uh, initially connect with the customer even before having the product, right? Even
It's
starting to talk
everything.
about, yeah,
Show,
and
show it.
yeah,
Yeah. Here's the
yeah.
problem I'm trying to solve. Here's my solution. It's not 100%. It's not MVP. It's not sexy. That's my advice. Get it out there. Your goal is to learn. Does it solve the problem? Is it meaningful? Will the customers say, oh my God, where has this been all my life? Right? When they say that, that's gold to an investor. Then you can use that for your fundraising. Anyway,
And Bettina, you have been around in tech for a long time, so you have seen the evolution as well. With now the differences between before without AI, this mainstream AI that allow really to go much faster. So, what do you think are the differences by building a startup now comparing to 10 years ago? What do you think
my
are the key
God,
differences? And what do you think what should be the different approach also founder they should get into it?
I think, oh my God, I am so excited about what's happening now, Michael. The market, the pace, the ability to develop, innovate, get revenue because you're developing way faster with AI. So I love it now is the time to build, right? AI makes it much easier, faster. I have the privilege of investing in some and advising many that they probably don't need to raise more money. Can you imagine that? Because they got to revenue and profitability so much faster. It's now the new word I love to use is seed strap versus bootstrap. Bootstrapping was you ask your friends and family, give you some money to get going, then you raise some more. Now, you ask your friends and family, give you some money, you show your product, and then before you know it, you have revenue. You have revenue and profitability. You don't have to raise institutional capital. You will if you want to grow global, or your go-to-market needs more money, but you don't need it to get to the revenue. It's happening now. So I,
Yeah, with
I'm
a really
amazing.
motivated small team, really can
Small,
move.
small team. I'm on the board. I just invested in Cognite as an education tech startup. Solo founder, 1 employee, hiring some engineers in Asia, but his secret power, secret sauce for this education tech that's doing phenomenal. He is recruiting and selecting investors and very active board advisors. So that's another tactic I advise founders. Go reserve a little equity for your board advisors that can help you with legal, be a fractional CFO. I'm for Cognate helping on strategy and fundraising, partnership, because that's what Silicon Valley, it's what. So it's amazing the power of your board advisor. And I'm not sure enough founders think about that, but you don't have to hire people.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah,
advice. So you saying bring advisor in that they are covering some of your main strength that they maybe are already have their network that can help you grow
yeah,
faster. Yeah.
yeah. I love getting my hands dirty as a investor advisor. That's me. Not everybody, but that's what I love to do. If I'm going to select you, Michael, for example, if you have a startup and you're asking for investment, I will check you out, do my due diligence. But once I decide, okay, I'm in, then I'm in all the way and I work. I provide my time. The investment gets me the equity, but I'll get more equity because I'm working
Mhm.
fractional, right? It's motivating. So,
Yeah, I think we have us as well different advisor that they also help us in the
yeah,
development of the company. Yeah, actively weekly. So I think is a
yeah,
great way
yeah.
initially to help grow
And
your
you
business.
and you can keep your like this founder of Cognate, Mornay Moritz, solo founder, brilliant, hiring some engineers on the side, third party,
Mhm,
but his board advisor, we're like his executive team.
mhm.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
Anyway, that's one
great.
idea.
And
Yeah,
yeah, great idea. And from did you see any differences as well on business model and go-to-market strategy for new AI companies?
I think so. I mean, there is a lot AI. You said, what was it like 10 years ago? I got that so long ago, right? But so long ago, maybe AI was in the labs, but not out in public. The ability to connect, for example, brands with creators in a marketplace. So you have an ecosystem that was not impossible to do before AI, but now really easy to do, right? The other, 10 years ago, robotics was happening. Spending robotics is talk about deep tech hardware, software, but with AI, the use case of robotics is, I think, from space application to consumer. So the use, just hockey stick growth. And AI allows that because you can imagine AI for robotics, you can solve so many different problems, and you can create unique solution. So that's different.
Yeah, it's getting more uh, general purpose robotics as before they were much more specific for one specific task. Now they are getting more humanoid. They can solve many different things, and that was
I mean,
the AI. Yeah.
self-driving cars, right? In San Francisco, Silicon Valley, Waymo 10 years ago, that did not exist. But with AI and all the sensors and camera. Anyway, it's a revolution.
Yes, yeah. There's is a lot of things happening at the moment. And what do you think? Many founder mistake that they are making in the early stage of development of a startup.
Yeah, I think I really try to guide. When I meet founders early and they're struggling to get customer adoption or fundraising, right? That's usually connected. As an investor, I need to see, are you solving a big problem? Are you solving a big market? Number two, do you have the right idea to solve that problem? Number three, do you have proof? from customers. So a big mistake is the founder, because they have the idea, they figured it out, they have a solution, but they're spending too many cycles making it perfect. So they forgot to talk to customers, or they're delaying talking to customers. So that's a big mistake, because that's time, right? You're spending money on making the perfect MVP. Go show a customer broken. Get feedback. So that's number one. Number two, I did not know this as deeply as recently, but I need every founder to know this. I just joined an IP protection service startup. I'm helping my startup Shield. And the founder of that, she's a IP patent examiner and has her own IP protection. I did not know this, but do you know that in the United States, once you talk about your idea and you have not filed a provisional patent, you only have 12 months. You only have 12 months until it means you own it. So if you start talking about it, somebody, and you did not file a provisional, somebody could take your idea, file it, and then 12 months from now, you lost ownership. I did not, that's crazy. That's in the United States. Globally, London, I don't know if you know this, Michael, or anywhere else, you have no grace period. The minute t equals 0, you start talking about it and disclosing your IP, you have somebody could copy, somebody could claim it. So getting this IP, what is the word? Protection known, so that every founder knows about it, can do something about it. That's my mission. I don't want, as an investor, I need to know now when I meet founders, are you protected? Have you fired a provisional? So we're trying to get this word out, this service out. I'm a advisor, mentor at a bunch of accelerators and incubators, and so I want them to use it so they can teach every founder. So that's another one. You lose your
So,
ownership.
so you would suggest to straight away after building your product? When exactly would you
Well, I
feel?
think before, so the worst case scenario, you have a PowerPoint, you talk about it publicly, somebody could listen, and if you talk about your your proprietary, how did you achieve your, sometimes I'm in meetings, it gets very technical, right? Because I ask, what's your proprietary algorithm? How did you solve that? You have to be careful. So
Mm,
file before.
mm.
Yeah.
Even before, so
Yeah.
before even talking about, yeah.
You
And
have
so,
to, or else, so that you're at least provisionally protected. Yeah.
and Bettina, you also talking about founder problem fit.
Yeah.
What does mean in practice?
Yeah. I think I talk about this a lot, and I wrote some notes about it. I mean, you gotta, don't build features, right? Product market fit and get very, oh, what does this mean? Don't build features. Think about your best customer target, right? I have a problem. I have a solution. Who's going to pay for it? So think about that. Don't build features, build relief for that customer. If it's a problem for that customer, you want the customer saying, oh my God, where has this been all my life? So that's the journey I go through with founders. Don't build, oh, it has to have the UX so it presents in all voice languages, for example. Just focus on what is the problem you're solving, Can you solve it? And golly, the goal, get that customer to say, oh my God, where have you been?
Yeah, I agree as well. There is, and it's also really challenging while you're building a product to really focus on exact the feature that will help you to solve the client problem. It's so easy to get distracted, so easy to get, oh, this is a great idea, let's do that. It is so easily, and it's so difficult to really focus on, keep focusing every day. In fact, this is an exercise that we do constantly, is refocusing, constantly refocusing what is essential, what are the main priority for the customer, what is the customer requirement, what are the priority that they solve them problem. Because yeah, it is really easy. It is so
It,
easy. Ideas are so simple to have them, but the implementation and execution is a completely different story.
you know,
So
one thing I also add to that, Michael, the feature creep, right? The feature creep. I like, that gets expensive as
what do you
as
mean by feature creep?
feature creep. Example, if you're not focused super clear on the problem, right? Or what hurts the most priority wise, and you're trying to solve, ah, okay, I gotta solve all of this. It means there's too many features, feature creep. My advice, and that costs money. Engineering, product market fit, UX, UI, right? So my advice, prioritize. What's the number one problem? What hurts the most? And then execute on that. And then validate that with a customer. Get that customer to say, aha, where have you been? The rest you can work on later. You see what I'm saying? The rest of the features, and it gets expensive. There's only so much money. Most founders, they don't even pay themselves a salary or, it like the longer you do this, the worse, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. And also now with more experience on our side, we really, yeah, really focusing and uh, trying to also not passing to a feature to a next feature so easily, because that also is also another point. You maybe have a feature and then you pass to another one without really making that what feature really good, really, really, really good, and then passing to the next one. Because yeah, we know implementing feature is so easy, but make it really, really good is a
Yeah.
completely different story.
It's almost I know it's I don't want to sound like I'm making it too elementary, but my advice to founders on challenging them on feature creep, like almost make it define the one job the product has to do. The priority I was talking about, define the one workflow it has to replace. Define the one transformation that me as a customer needs to feel. And then that kind of gives you clarity, you know, and priority. And then it makes it simpler. It's not simple to do. I
Mm.
don't
It's-
want that to come across. It's hard to get clarity. But once you force yourself to think like that, then it also gets cheaper.
yeah, I completely agree. It's not easy, and it's really, I think it's probably one of the most difficult things to do. Keep, especially now with so many distractions, so much content. Probably that is one things that we had to get really good at, because with AI you can, you can have so much content, but focus is so difficult to have in
And
a
it's
where we
not
have so
forget.
abundance of, yeah, of content, of code, everything. So yeah.
It's not really AI is not really a product you use, right? It's a I mean, I use so many AI agents. I have my own workflow, but it's my partner. It's not a product, it's my partner. And it's one of the key first due diligence when I meet with founders, like, what's your workflow? How do you think? What are you doing? You know? And if they talk like it's a product, it's kind of not the way. AI is your partner, right? It also changes your go to market. And you have to be careful. You don't want to be, as an investor, I have to suss out if they're just, a lot of founders on LinkedIn I've met, they're obsoleted because OpenAI developed a solution that replaces them, right? So you have to really think of your differentiated solution.
And because now we're talking about this, what how do you evaluate the startup as as a proprietary angle, something that they are really tackling through them solution? How do you evaluate that?
Yeah, it has to be so that's the rub, right? That's the important technical due diligence part. So I get deep on what is the problem? How are they solving? Is it platform related, under the hood platform? Or is it or is it um an API connection to make, for example, shopping easier on Amazon? There's a lot going on there, and there's a lot of almost unicorns in that area. But that will get, I think, obsoleted. So I don't like to invest in those. I like proprietary, under the hood. Um, that's where, um, if they have competitive moats. I talk a lot with my founders I meet. Is your competitive differentiation very tall, very deep? And I ask them what that is. And then I ask them, imagine 6, 12 months from now after you launch and you're super, super successful, right? How are you going to avoid copycat? A lot of founders don't even think about that. But the ones that have proprietary engine, patents, architecture, right? They have an answer. Well, a copycat can't copy. Here's why. I've created the market. I've created the ecosystem. So that's, and as an early stage investor, I have to know their moat is tall and deep.
Mm. And how do you also evaluate if the market is big enough,
They're gonna,
or
yeah,
already, I mean, now we're seeing OpenAI really, as you mentioned, right? They are really making, I mean, someone called uh, the everything up, right? Um, so it's really difficult sometimes to evaluate that. So if it's an opportunity, if it's probably too big, there's gonna be incumbent. They're gonna be taking the opportunity. So what's your
yeah.
view on that?
When so I'll give you an example of a recent um, pitch deck I received where the founder, I won't name, but where the founder described the problem, the market, and was so myopic. Like, I'm solving this problem for this market, and was very proud that they could achieve $15 million in 3 years, and their share of the market was tiny. They did not think of the possibility that their solution for the problem could actually what is the word? Solve a bigger market. So what I do I find founders get very in love, myopic. I'm solving, pick one, reading for the blind in Brazil as a bad example. Reading for the blind in Brazil, and that market is this small. What they don't understand is their solution can solve the problem all over the world. They just need the capital to do their go-to-market. So I challenge them on their assumptions, right? So that's one. It's really, the solution sometimes is wider, can achieve an ecosystem. I like ecosystem play. I like adjacent fit, because as an investor, more is better, right? And if it's the same team, they can start with one market, but then they can go adjacent. That's good.
That's really, really interesting. And Bettina, I want to pass a bit talking about the future and see if you have some thought on how this AI wave is going to take in the next 10 years. There is a lot of emerging innovation. There is something that you are particularly excited that you are looking that could, change how we work and live, something
Yeah.
particularly disruptive.
I think, and you and I talked about it already, I think with the speed of innovation in AI, the other costs to develop, versus 10, 20 years ago, going really down. And there's also a lot of money, capital, investing. The innovation with robotics in our life, Michael, to do, golly, so many things. Drive me myself. I have my own driver. I don't know. My husband will laugh. I don't like to vacuum the house. I don't like to clean. So if I could have some robot here to just do that, gold. But that's happening, and that's going to get cheaper and cheaper. And then, really, what is the word? Dedicated. I think there's going to be a change in agriculture with robotics, because and AI will provide analytical data to make, I don't know, solar capture and growth of crops smarter, better. So I think robotics will change our lives, and perhaps food, agriculture, and then the whole climate change. We need to solve it. There's a lot of innovation happening there. I think that's a longer one. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but there's a lot of people focus in that area too.
And Bettina, because we are talking now about this, and is a question that I ask everyone that comes into the podcast, is what do you think about AI taking a lot of jobs? We have seen also, especially this year, a lot of layoff in tech across mainly US more than probably other countries, uh, but revenue as well and profit probably still even higher. So what do you think about?
Yeah, I think about it a lot because I know, so I am worried for the young graduates in university if they did not either develop their own AI entrepreneurial spirit or technical skills. A lot of entry-level jobs, I think, are replaced. It's so finding your first job out of university, I think, is going to be harder unless you were a founder. And I'm investing and advising 19-year-olds right now. There's a lot of innovation. So I worry about the new graduates. I think if you're not, Silicon Valley makes it maybe a little easier because you are surrounded by, and probably similar in London, I'm guessing, Michael, you're surrounded by people, humans, your own network, right? Everyone's pushing each other. Everyone is talking. There's so many networking events. So you can learn from each other and actually go to different jobs. It's different now. Staying in one job for 10 years, that's unique. People are moving around and people are getting laid off. And so if you're not improving yourselves and networking constantly, I think you're behind. So the dream AI, though, also will reward the architects. So if you're a deep computer scientist, data architect, you're gold. You know, I mean, who was it? Google that paid $1 billion salary? Or was it Meta to, Meta? Yeah, to an architect. You know, that's crazy, but that's happening because that's how valuable they are,
Yeah.
right? So at Stanford, I mean, I live in Palo Alto. I'm surrounded by like the Googlers, the super smarts, but you have to keep it up. And then, it's hard to get laid off, but there's a lot of opportunity also. So keep networking is my advice. I worry about the new graduates, and if you have not improved your skill or network, then it's hard.
Yeah, I think one worry thing is the speed of change that things are happening is because I think in the mid long term, we adapt economy, they readjust, you find new way to, but the thing is that happening really, really fast. So many people, they may be gonna fall behind and not adapting or looking for new opportunities. So
Well,
yeah, as you said, yeah,
yeah,
keep
you
learning
got
new
to keep
skills.
learning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think actually it's why we're seeing a lot. I mean, I've never seen so many founders. Everyone's a founder, right? Because, and I meet a lot of them on LinkedIn. You found me on LinkedIn, right? There's so many founders. It's because, well, I can't get a job. Maybe I should just start something. So
Yeah, but that's also, yeah,
that's fueling. Well, why not me? Right? Why not me? So when I meet people like new founders with a market they're chasing, a problem they're trying to solve, with a solution, then I really guide them. Okay, is your market big? Do you have what is the problem? Back to the first thing we talked about, right? How do you get clear on your solution? How do you get in front of customers to validate? So I think the number of founders, it's crazy. It's probably happening in London too. It's everywhere. Most of my startups I'm investing and advising in are actually in Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Wh-
London, Zurich, uh, London, Zurich, Ukraine.
wh-
Some,
why not in the US?
Well, there's some in the US. I just, I mean, yeah, but that's innovation with AI. That's the other thing. You don't need, I grew up in semiconductors. That's where I started. You needed the fab. You needed, you know, talk about deep tech, a lot of capital. You don't need that with AI, with software. You can build it from anywhere. My
Yeah,
engineers with one of the startup, they're in Vietnam. The founder is in Australia, but now in the Cayman Islands. The world is global. You can be
and
anywhere.
yeah, definitely. I think now there is even more opportunity than before, that you had to be into main global city, New York, London, San Francisco, to now with the internet and give us the opportunity to be everywhere. And
Work
so
from home, right? I'm working now. I'm in Mexico City. Now I will say this. It's where zip codes matter. Zip code, you're in London, you're in the hub. I just met a founder who's doing very well. She's based in Louisiana, New Orleans, not a hub for venture capital, not a hub for angel investors,
uh,
but she's reaching out through LinkedIn, through Hubble, right? Through Bordy. I advise a lot of my founders, use Hubble, find an advisor, strike a relationship, use Bordy. Go talk to this AI super connector about your startup to help you meet people outside of Louisiana, for example, right?
that's
So,
really, really exciting. And Bettina, thank you very much for your time. I want to ask you some couple of more questions about um, a bit how your approach is with founder. You have been talking about different ways that you are helping them at the moment. But what is exciting you the most about working with mission-driven startup now with AI?
I maybe I'm different, Michael. I'm a very early stage investor angel, right? Pre-seed. Most of them don't have revenue, right? So when I decide, say it's you talk to me about your market, you talk to me about the problem you're solving, you talk to me that you have proprietary AI platform, so I'm not worried about your competition. You share that you've talked to customers and you have some validation. And then I really focus on you, the founder. Do I believe you can sell 24/7? Because you're the CEO founder, you have to always be selling. It's hard. Do I believe do I believe in your plan, right? Have you figured out all the your business plan, your business model, your engineering support? Are you the CTO? If not, who's going to do your roadmap? And then once I decide that, and it's sort of, I'm embarrassed to say this, I have to fall in love with you. As an early stage, pre-seed, pre-revenue angel investor, there's no divorce in angel
Yeah,
investment.
exactly.
I have to fall in love with the founder. And if I do, it means I'm going to work for you. It's why, back to one of the first things, I like really getting my hands dirty. So
Uh,
I like being active investor advisor. So if I fall in love with you, yeah, call me anytime. I'm gonna work. That's what I
that
mean.
that's really exciting. I mean, I think yeah, the founder that they have you on them cap table. I think they are excited to have you. And
But
yeah,
it's mutual, you know?
yeah,
I have to be excited to help you, right?
And Bettina, do you have some example of one of startup that successfully, scale scale one of your investment, one success story that you maybe can tell us?
Yeah, one of them about Finna, Finna, is a fintech startup. Fell in love with the founder. He came from decades at UBS, private equity. His customer base when he was at UBS was like super, super, super rich people, ultra high net worth individuals, where if you're super uber rich or family office, you use UBS and you make really good return. His dream and why he created Finna was, why not make that more accessible to everyday investors? So that's Finna. With education, we can allow better return than, like, if you're using I'm in Charles Schwab, for example, better return than that with education. And Finna, because of the clients he was able to bring in with his very rich network, it's an example of a startup that is seed strap. I think I talked about that.
Uh,
You raise a little money to get your product launched. Overnight, he will be in revenue and profitable
so
because
they are already profitable.
he will be. So will be launched. It's now at November, probably December, January. Once that launches, because of the depositors, it goes profitable. It goes
Mhm.
rep. That's a success story. I think it's what AI allowed, and his vision. Um, it's really solving a problem no one has, and he has the solution. And it's really relationship, right? The people he knew, priceless. So that's a good example.
Really, really exciting. Definitely, I will have a look into more in details how Finna, how it's called? Fin?
Finna. I'll
Yeah,
send you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I will really excited to see how it works.
And we're very excited. My husband and I are very excited as investors, right? Not every investment is like,
Yeah, of
yeah.
course. Yeah, yeah. So what have you? Yeah, one thing as well. I also ask a lot of investors that sometimes seems to be really difficult to define. And my last question is, what do you think is one of the most indicator for success? You are maybe now seeing, you have been in the industry for a long time and you have maybe invested in different companies, some work, some doesn't. Did you notice a pattern, that the pattern for success?
Pattern for success is go-to-market clarity. Usually most founders have the product clarity, right? I have I have the market idea, I have the problem idea, I have a solution idea. It's product clarity. The go-to-market and the roadmap for the go-to-market, if you figured that out,
It's more important than the rest. Yeah.
that gets you, that's momentum, right? And it's hard to do. So I really help a lot of founders once they tell me, okay, here's the market, here's the problem, here's the solution. Product clarity. Here's the customers. Great. Okay, how are you going to scale? How are more people going to know about you? And why will customers, why will they stay sticky? Why will they not leave? And how do you keep growing that? So how do you grow your team? How do you grow the market? So that, when you figure that out, that's gold.
Thanks, Bettina. It's been really, really interesting
Well, that was
speaking to you.
Michael.
And
Yeah.
I think our time is finishing now, but it was a pleasure. Well, I try to keep in touch with all the people that come on the podcast to redo another episode in 6 months, a year, and
Sure.
see how the technology evolved. Maybe keeping track on the day where we met and see what
Yeah.
change has happened in 6 months, because technology is moving super fast.
6 months
So
is like that, right?
we're gonna have robots everywhere in 6 months.
Yeah. I never want to vacuum. That's my goal. I don't like to vacuum. I'm gonna look for a robot to do that. But so nice to meet you, Michael. And I hope that was.
Bettina, thank you very much. Yeah, it was great.
Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hi there. Welcome to my channel. I'm Michael Coppola. I'm excited to have you here. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Together, let's explore the incredible potential of entrepreneurship, business innovation, and technology to take your ventures to the next level.